The nicest thing about having a quick little pre-chat with Eleanor here, who you can't see yet, is that prior to that, I'm going, oh my God, what am I going to say? What's my intro going to say? And I'm thinking that I've been slack, and Eleanor pointed out that no, you're being efficient. How cool is that? And I think we're going to have a bit of a cat thing happening today, because in behind Eleanor's right shoulder is her cat Max. And we have Lucy here on the bench. But as a little extra piece of tension, we have Jess down here on the floor. So Lucy's not real sure about that. How are you, Eleanor?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I think this may turn into crazy cat ladies in the house, perhaps.
Oh, we could do that. And you're just a relatively new cat lady, aren't you?
How old? This is my second cat. So, yeah, Max has been with me for about 7 months.
How nice. And he's still just young, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only about 3. He came from the rescue place, so we don't know exactly how old he is, but yeah, he's probably about 3.5.
How nice. Now, Eleanor, what's your first piece of random shit to share?
Okay, I'm going to introduce you to another friend other than my cat. This is Fred. Fred is my phrenology head. He's been with me quite a few years. I don't know if you've ever seen one before, Robin.
Well, look, I possibly have, but I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to get up close and personal with Fred to work that out.
Well, he'd ask you to buy him coffee first, I think, in that case. But Fred is, he was my trophy, effectively, when I finished my master's degree. So my background was in psychology. And when I first started psych, I said, when I finish, when I graduate, when I get my own office, what I want is a phrenology head. Now, as you do, most people want cash or alcohol. I didn't say those were, mutually exclusive things. But phrenology was really old. It's now shown to be a pseudoscience study of how the lumps on the head were supposed to reveal different personality traits. So thankfully, it's been shown to be rubbish, because this is one of my favourite ones, just here.
Yes.
You see the size of it?
Yes.
This says domestic propensities. And I don't have much of a lump there, which might explain a lot about the rest of the stuff.
Oh, look, I'm just going to check mine too now, because I have no domestic propensities.
So back kind of right-hand side behind your ear.
Yep.
So if that's pretty flat, domestic's out the window,
yeah,
in theory.
It's totally flat.
Bit of a lump on there. And we have other beautiful things like words that I can't pronounce. Your self-esteem, I can pronounce that one. Love of family, how cautious you are, how conscientious you are. So, yeah, apparently the belief was that we had 27 different organs inside our brain, and some poor soul got to map them all onto the head and decide, if you had a lump here, this determined your personality in one direction or another. So when I first got into criminal psychology, apparently this is one of the bases for believing that you could rehabilitate offenders, because if you could work out which organ was wrong, so if conscientiousness wasn't very good, or they were very secretive, they might have had a big lump on their secretive bit. Here, see, it's real. See, 100% fact. That obviously they could address those different behaviours instead. So
that's astonishing. And would they address that with a clunk on the head to create a bump where there a bump hadn't been, or something like that?
Maybe we could justify that, or could have justified that. No, they, as far as I'm aware, they didn't. Although, given that it was the 1800s, honestly, who knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably not the most ethical or indeed robust research. But yeah, this is Fred, and this is why Fred came into my life a long time ago in England, and he made the move over to Australia with me.
Oh, look, I simply adore him. Have you ever put a wig on him? Just, when you say, Fred, I don't want to think about that at the moment, and popped a wig on?
No, do you know what? Fred's quite transparent and vulnerable. So he's willing to show his weaknesses and the lumps. I mean, if I shaved my head and I had a head this smooth, I think I'd probably be quite delighted with that. So he's not acquired a wig yet, but I do think he should have a bow tie.
Yeah. I think so. A Doctor Who style.
Yeah, I think that would suit him quite well. So
Well,
yes,
I love him. He's fabulous. Thank you.
he's good.
All right. I'm going to share something of mine, which might be related or not to bumps on heads. And I've just frightened the cat. See, look at the look on her face. She's going to run away now. Oh, that's hilarious.
I just introduced Max to Fred, and I don't think he approves.
No, but he is enjoying your rub, though. So she's just coming over to check this out. So this is a leather bag that I bought maybe 40 years ago. And I thought at the time that it would make me into the sort of person that I wanted to be. But what it did was just to give me a backache because it's really heavy. And so here I was trying to be this, almost windswept and interesting kind of person, someone who would be seen as knowledgeable. And I thought that having a bag like this would do it. And it never did.
Never occurred.
It never did. And I guess it was just like a pathway diversion. Instead of someone saying, well, Robin, actually, you just need to go to university and study something. You don't need the bag. I just went straight for the bag because it was that image association that I had.
So what did you keep in it, though? That's the key.
Well, I did. First of all, it was some very nice writing equipment because I also wanted to be a writer. So I thought if I had a nice pen and a nice book, then that's all of the equipment I would need to become a really fabulous writer. So I had the bag.
They stayed in the bag.
Yeah, they stayed in the bag because then the book was so nice that I thought, I can't sully the book. What if I write the wrong word? What if the first word is so bad that I've ruined the book? I can't do
language.
that. I know. Thank goodness I'm not 18 or 19 anymore. I'm glad that I've come a long way from there. So, Eleanor, what's your second piece of random shit?
So, sticking on a medical theme, this could go anywhere, couldn't it?
It could.
I'm going to have to see if I can get this close enough.
Oh, yes.
Can you see that okay?
That looks like something like I've got in my leg, actually.
Yeah, it's probably a smaller version of that. So this I acquired when I was 11 years old. So you're correct. It's a metal plate, and then there's two pins. I like the fact that they call them pins. They're basically screws, aren't they? I mean, I feel like I could put it back in myself with the right screwdriver. So yeah, I acquired this when I was 11 years old, obviously internally first, when I was a gymnast for many a year.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if they do the same over here in Australia, but in England they used to have school display evenings to show off to, prospective parents how wonderful the school was and look how talented all the children are and how well behaved and well groomed, and, we were never like that. And so during this school display evening, I was doing gymnastics and I fell off the vault. Knowing the next person was coming behind me, like I fell, I hurt myself, didn't really realise what I'd done, but didn't want the next person landing on my head because obviously that would be stupid. So I put my arm down to stand up, but I didn't know my arm was broken.
Oh, no.
So I hope no one's too squeamish. Don't worry, I still have both limbs. So I gained an extra elbow, but I severed my radial nerve completely and trapped the ends in the bone. So the reason I still have this is, when it came out when I was 12, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
But it's a really good reminder to me that miracles can happen because I was only supposed to get 30% use back in this hand.
Oh, and it looks pretty fully functional.
Absolutely. So I have two. I have a beautiful scar here, which is where probably can't see it on that, but it's where.
No. Oh yes, can see it now.
It's a
Yep.
nice thin worm. That's where it
Yeah.
came out. And then I have a bigger worm here.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
So I still have a
Dual-fold.
plate in that side. So occasionally, you know, there's metal detectors they use in airports, like the magic wands.
Yes. It
That
will
can
go.
set it off. So
Wow.
it's always a good story for them.
Oh, that's so cool.
A good reminder that miracles happen.
Miracles do happen. I'm very impressed with that. Well, look, I wasn't going to share another thing, but now that you've said that, John has just very quietly crawled out from the control room to bring me his phone, which put it there. Am I going to put it? Where am I going to put it? There it goes. Okay. So now poor Eleanor can't, I don't know which way I'm doing it. Poor Eleanor can't see it. I'm going to put it there. So,
Is that yours?
yeah, so that's mine. So this, in July last year, and this was the best fun, seriously. People, you know, I had the, you know, first of all, the plastic, because I broke my leg and completely dislocated my ankle. It was really quite spectacular. And a good way of getting the green whistle, but I wouldn't recommend it. You know, there's probably better ways of getting a green whistle. Anyway, the green whistle was a lot of fun. So once I'm in the moon boot, and I was in it for 5 months or something,
Yeah.
and people would say, "Oh, what have you done? How have you done that?" And I say, "This is your opportunity to create an adventure story for me."
Yes.
Because what happened was so boring and so pedestrian that I dare not speak its name. So give me a really good thing. And honestly, I didn't come up, but everyone came up with the most amazing stories of how I broke my leg. It was such fun.
Doesn't it sum up how people's brains work, though? If you don't give them an answer, they fill in a story anyway, and that's the version they choose to believe.
Yeah. And so someone said, "Oh, you went bungee jumping off the Sydney Harbour Bridge, but just one leg was tied up." And I said, "Yes, I like that one." You know, or trekking in Nepal, and I've fallen down a crevasse somewhere, and yes, that was good.
I like that one. You
I
had
liked
to
all of
half-saw
them.
it off to get out.
Yeah, it was so much better than what really happened.
We should rewind this, and I should get you to guess the story of how I acquired that, because I think that would be much more adventurous.
It's a lot of fun, I can tell you. And, you know, sometimes I've thought about putting the moon boot back on just to actually capture those stories on video and just pretend. So forget that you heard me. If you see me in a moon boot, that's right.
Maybe just change limbs. So maybe just walk around with a sling on. It could be your post-COVID video series.
Yeah.
And you could go around with a sling on.
Yeah. And I'll just video people telling me what adventure I've had.
I love it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Eleanor. Max stayed and Lucy took off. Well done, Max.
Yeah, he's enjoyed being with Fred, I think. Actually, he just likes sleeping, which is so relatable.
Yeah, totally. I think I might have to do a bit of that tonight. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Welcome. And you. It's good fun.
Yeah, we'll chat again.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, Robin.
Bye. Oh, there you go. Did you see that? Did you see the plate and everything? I'm not going to share it again. It was pretty gruesome. Do share your adventure stories if you've had a break or something like that. Let me know all about it. See you tomorrow.
You're so welcome.
That was such
Can I have
fun.
another look at the X-ray?
Yes, you can. It was so.
I do love it. X-ray.
Can you see it?
Good job, hey?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5 pins in there, is it?
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We
There's one.
apologise for this inconvenience.
Oh, there was one that went straight between both the bones.
Yeah.
And that one is a bit annoying now. I think I'd like.
Can you feel the heads of the screws?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to try and see if I could unscrew them.
Oh!
Which, like, when you look at them, they are so smooth smooth on top. There's no way. But I remember I used to feel it, and I was like, I wonder if I could unscrew it. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but obviously I was 11.
That's a great story. That's so funny.
That would freak people out, hey?
Yeah, it would.